All right, guys. A little late. Not too bad. All right, guys. We are awake this morning. Not super awake yet, but kind of awake. Semi-awake, I would say. Oh man, we're waking up. What's up, team? What's up, Mac, D, Low, Leslie, Kevin, Crypto? All right, so we got Schwab earnings today. Schwab is gapping up right now. We're gonna look for some news to see if we get anything. Not a huge economic release day. Busy last week. This week is less busy, but we're still gonna have some stuff. Like we got Netflix, Tesla earnings. Schwab's supposed to come out with earnings today. They're supposed to release theirs at 8:45. So about 45 minutes before the opening bell. I'm trying to drink my coffee and wake up, so bear with me for a little bit, team, while I do that. Oh man. Yeah, Schwab earnings, Empire State Manufacturing today. Not huge releases, but somewhat releases. This week is a little bit less busy for economic data. We got some stuff coming out, but it's definitely not like last week. This week, what starts though, and what's nice is that we have earnings season starting up this week. So this week we've got earnings to cover. Be very interesting. We got a lot of stuff, honestly, coming out with regards to earnings over the next couple weeks, really. Today, we don't really have anything big except for bank earnings in the evening from JB Hunt, FB Financial, and Pinnacle, CrossFit, Bankshare, Equity, Lifestyle. Those are the earnings today. Schwab earnings this morning. That's the big one. We got State Street and Schwab this morning. Tomorrow is when a lot of the earnings season really kicks off with Bank of America, Johnson & Johnson. This is all the morning time for tomorrow. Bank of America, Johnson & Johnson, Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin, Bank of New York, Mercantile Bank, Ericsson, and Commerce Bankshare, all tomorrow morning. Very relevant. And then tomorrow evening, we've got Netflix, United Airlines, Hancock Whitney, Interactive Brokers, IB, First Horizon. So a lot of small banks tomorrow, which will be interesting. Equity Bankshare, Omnicon, Metropolitan Bank, Western Alliance. So we got some banks tomorrow, which will be really interesting, as well as Netflix. Netflix isn't the biggest release. Like we stream Netflix earnings, but I don't know if we're going to stream the earnings call because what Netflix actually does, it just releases a video that everybody can watch. Now we can watch the video together and watch how the market reacts to it, but there's very little fundamental data in Netflix's earnings release, and so we might skip that one this time and instead pivot on over to United Airlines, maybe earnings, or Western Alliance will be very relevant with all the bank stuff going on. And then Wednesday's a huge day. So Wednesday morning for earnings, we've got Morgan Stanley, ASML, Baker Hughes, Abbott, Citizens, NASDAQ, Ally, U.S. Bank Corp, and all that stuff drops to Wednesday morning. Wednesday evening is probably one of the biggest days we'll ever have for earnings, with Tesla earnings at 4:05 p.m. So Tesla drops their earnings. We will stream that. We will stream the earnings call. IBM earnings, Alcoa, Las Vegas Sands, Steel Dynamics, Zion Bank Corp, Liberty Energy, Wintrust, National Bank Holdings, Equifax. So a lot of bank earnings Wednesday. There are a lot of earnings Wednesday. Thursday, we got AT&T, American Express, Nokia, Rite Aid, Snap One, and a few other ones, but nothing big Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday evening, Wednesday's a relatively slow day. We got PPG, CSX, Seagate. So nothing really big Thursday. The next week, though, so next Monday, so the week after this, right? So Monday, we got a lot of stuff. We started off big with Monday pretty slow actually for the next week, but the next week, the next day is big. We got Microsoft. We've got Microsoft and Google same day. Google actually hasn't confirmed their earnings. I'm honestly hoping Google switches it and does it for a different day so we can cover both Microsoft and Google. But I know at the very least we're gonna have Microsoft on the 25th, which will be big. So this week pops off earnings, earnings season. Next week's the biggest one though. Tuesday we got Microsoft and maybe Google. Wednesday we got Meta, Roku. Thursday we got Caterpillar, Crocs, MasterCard, Domino's, Southwest Airlines, and then Amazon in the morning. Amazon and Snapchat in the evening, I mean. So next week is packed full of earnings. Exxon in the morning on Friday. Even on Friday. So busy week here. In terms of economic data, again, this week's not the busiest. We got some stuff coming out this week. We got like the New York State Manufacturing Index coming out today. Nothing else really big this morning, in all honesty. Nothing relevant, nothing incredibly important. We got one of the ECB presidents, Lagarde, speaking. The ECB president, Lagarde, is speaking today at 11. I don't know what she's speaking out. Maybe we can cover it if it's big enough today. But tomorrow, we got some stuff coming out. So tomorrow we have some stuff. We got specifically what? Building permits. So wait, when is the ECB interest rate decision? What are they doing theirs? Because we covered it last time. And so that'll be a new thing that we start covering here is the ECB interest rate decision as well. Again, you can see Schwab's supposed to release their earnings at like 8:45. So about 45 minutes before the opening bell today, we're supposed to get Schwab earnings. I don't know if we're going to get it, but let me take a look here. What's up, team? Let me catch back up in the chat. What's up, Jessica, Pawn, Ricky, Antonio, Dan, Tony, Darian, Sam, DS. All right, so somebody's asking me about Google. I'm looking it up now. All right, so the reason Microsoft is down, the reason Google is down is because Samsung is thinking about replacing Alphabet, Google, for Microsoft, Bing, as the default search for its devices. That is what's causing Google to drop. Man, I should have held my swing trade on Google too, bro. I got in this thing at like 99s. Should have held it. It's at one. It was at 110s basically before this news. Should have held it. But yeah, that's the news. What do you guys think the market's going to do today? What's up, David? What's up, Bar? What do you think, in your own opinion, will happen with some of these earnings? I really don't know. I think the bank earnings are the most interesting to watch, but I think a lot of banks have had. So we've covered all the big banks. So we've talked about like what happened with regards to like the big banks here. Now, the big banks, I think there's going to be a more obvious correlation with like the stuff going on. Like people are going to put money in big banks versus small banks because of the craziness that happened. But the thing to consider now, I think, is how did everything affect small banks? Because I think they're more directly affected by the banking struggles that have happened. So I'm not sure. I'm curious to see what the little bank earnings are going to be. Yeah, so I really don't know. We'll see. Markets gapping down a little bit this morning, but popped up pretty big yesterday or Friday. And so markets are basically flat. What are your thoughts on Tesla profit margins after 5 price cuts in Q1? Will they beat earnings? I don't know. No idea. We'll cover it. You want to see what happens? Subscribe. We'll be watching it live as it happens. When's the next? All right, so the ECB last raised rates February 8th. And so the next ECB rate hike decision should be pretty soon here. Oh, all right. Chat, when is the next ECB interest rate decision? We're going to cover it, but today we also have Chinese GDP data coming out, which will be relevant. Tomorrow we got building permits and housing starts. We got European CPI coming out Wednesday. When is the next ECB rate hike decision? Like the last one was at early February. So if it happens every 6 weeks, the new ones should be coming out pretty soon. Unless I missed it. When was the last? So we don't know when Schwab earnings are coming out, but they're scheduled for 8:45. Oh wait, the last one was March 22nd. So the last interest rate decision was about a month ago. So we're not going to actually have. We're not going to have another one until a couple weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks, with regards to the interest rate decision by the ECB. The Fed is raising interest rates early May. So we'll see how much they end up raising, but. Can y'all hear the music? You should be able to. Let me know if you can. Disney's still sitting under $100. Kind of looking at Disney too. We're going to do a poll here live like we always do. Does the market close green today? Yes or no? Vote on that poll. AMC 1 for 10 split. Reverse split, that is. All right, guys. So Tesla bouncing up a little bit at the 200 EMA. We're looking at the SPY right now. It's right around 413s. Not really holding great today, but actually the SPY is somewhat green this morning. I thought we were gapping down today. We're actually green on the SPY today, so not bad. This Friday has unusual levels of put options out of the money. Can we expect a short squeeze? I don't know, man. I don't know about any short squeeze, brother. The entire EV market will collapse in 5 years. I don't know. Yeah, Google's down because of Samsung considering using Bing. All right, guys. So Tesla holding. Anything else that looks cheap today, guys? I'm always looking for cheap discount dip buys. Anything that looks cheap right now? Should it agree today? Don John as the world. Maybe. Google down because of Microsoft. Well, we don't even know if it sucks, though, low key. So, like, they haven't even put it out yet. So, we don't know if it's good or bad at this point. It might be great. I'm on the sign up list. Hopefully they'll give it to me sometime soon. But all right, guys. So, well, honestly, I got multiple phones right now. Why is my phone going off, man? Oh. All right, guys. So Google all the way down here. I guess the question is, do you guys think Google will rebound from this? Did they give you access, bro? Let me check to see if they gave me access. I was on the wait list for Google Bard. Oh, they did give it to me, bro. Okay. Dude, see, I click on it. It says, hey, this is what it says. It says, it's your turn to try Bard. Take it for a spin. And then when I click on that page, it says join waitlist. Bro, I've already been on the waitlist. Come on, bro. Oh, maybe I see what the problem was. Oh, wait. Here, I see what the problem actually was. Okay, no, so I got Bard. Okay, let's try it out, dude. All right. Yeah, here I got it right now. Okay. Let's see what it can do with regards to stocks. Okay. So give me 5 low PE blue chip companies that are good long-term holds. Sure, here are 5 low PE blue chip companies that are good long-term holds. PG, Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, Amex, and Berkshire Hathaway is what they gave me. Again, honestly, I don't hate that list, to be honest. The only one that I don't know about for sure is J&J, because I just don't trust them necessarily of the company. But like, I like Procter and Gamble. I definitely like Coca-Cola. American Express is okay, and Berkshire Hathaway, I mean, we all know that's like a powerhouse company. Here, let me see about code writing. I will say it's faster than ChatGPT. All right, I said, write me a Pine script code that gives me a reversal alert every time the symbol crosses over the volume weighted average price. All right, it gave me that alert. I mean, it's not bad. It really isn't bad. And I mean, ChatGPT also gets it wrong a lot. Like, as a programmer, I can write ChatGPT to write all kind of crap, and it will just get a lot of stuff wrong, to be honest, especially with regards to like programming. Elf. Asking about interest rates. What about it, JJ? What about it? Yeah, Schwab today. We're going to cover it when it comes out. If you look at Schwab right here, gap it up today ahead of this. I think my guess is like, okay, think about it like this, right? A lot of the big banks had favorable earnings. Okay, so a lot of the big banks had good earnings, right? So I think a lot of people are asking. Here, let me go ahead and exit out of this. Will the Fed raise rates? Rate hike decision. See how it gets with like a tricky subjective question. It is difficult to say for sure whether the Fed will raise rates at its next rate hike decision. The Fed has been raising rates in an effort to combat inflation, which is at a 40-year high. However, the Fed is also concerned about the potential for a recession. If the Fed raises too quickly, it could tip the economy into a recession. On the other hand, if the Fed does not raise rates enough, it could allow inflation to get out of control. The Fed will make its decision based on a number of factors, including the latest economic data and the outlook for inflation. The Fed will also be watching the stock market and other financial markets for signs of a recession. If the Fed sees those signs, it may be more likely to pause or even reverse its rate hikes. However, if the Fed sees signs of continued inflation, it may be more likely to continue raising rates. Not a bad answer, okay? Not a bad answer. Bard's not bad to me. Like, this isn't too bad. Not too bad. Can y'all hear the music? Let me know. You should be able to. All right. Any other questions to ask Bard? Bard, I mean, all right, sorry, doing something down here. Let me figure out how to way to fix this. There we go. All right. Hmm. Ask when it gets updates on data. All right, so my first impression is that it's much faster than ChatGPT. I get updates on data on a regular basis. The frequency depends on the type of data. I get updates on news and weather data more frequently than I get updates on historicals. They use Google Search, Google News, Google Weather, public data sources such as U.S. Census Bureau and National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So basically they get from their they use their own data, which is probably a little bit more powerful than Bing in that regard, you know. All right, guys. So yeah, I mean, again, we're waiting for Schwab to come out. Schwab's gapping up today. Again, I'm a little bit less confident in Schwab because I think Schwab is not the biggest bank here. Um, Probably due to low volume. Yeah, well, this is just still like a. It's not actually out yet. Fed will pause in June. Yeah, I think they might as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they could. Yeah, let me, again, as a programmer, let me see if I can get it to write. Now, let's try this code. We are trying a new code here now. All right, so they wrote me a pretty long code just now. Let's see what it looks like. See how useful this is. All right. See how right their programming is. So, Chad, this is where Chat GPT got a lot of stuff wrong. Was it couldn't write up like effective code, you know. All right, so far so good. No error message. Oh wait, we do get an error message here. Let's try to save it. Okay, so we're running into the error message here. Yeah, there. So we can let's see how good it does at erroring. All right, let's see. All right, it gave me another code. Let's see if this one works. So again, we're playing with this now. Nope. Still an error. Let's see how good. I'll tell you this, it's very similar to Chat GPT. All right, so it said it fixed it. We're going to try this, and then we're going to move on to something else. But yeah, we got a couple things gapping up today. But yeah, we got Schwab up there at 51.80s. Here we got the SPY at 412.80s. We got Tesla at 186s. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's running into the same problems that Chat GPT ran with in terms of like programming accuracy. It's not going to program for you yet. It'll build algorithms though. So if you know the language, um, you'll be able to do some stuff. But try maybe putting this. No. Yeah, I don't know. Same problem with the code that they're giving me. Tell me to get my what's up, Beach? Bing chat is best. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, we can look up stuff in the same way with this, in all honesty. So this thing looks it up too. Schwab expecting 90 cents per share. Yeah, I'm showing Schwab expects for today 90 cents a share on 5.21 billion in rev, about 11.5% growth. Hey, have a good day, Beach. Schwab bought shares during the crisis. Yeah, I mean, Schwab is up. Like, okay, they're down pretty big from everything though. Like, that's the thing to understand. Like, they might have bought shares, but their lows of this on the crisis were down at like 50 or 45, and they're only at 50 right now. So they're only about $5 higher. Prior to this craziness, they were at 80s. So this is gonna be a really interesting release, because, well, frankly, they didn't really rebound that much from this yet. So they haven't bounced back that much from this, in all honesty. So all right. So what we're learning right now is that the AI we currently have, both Chat GPT as well as others, struggle to write code, like effective code. Like that's what they struggle with. They struggle to write effective code that actually is useful. Um, Generally, it's gonna have. But I mean, that's to be expected. I think over time this is going to get better. I think it already has a ton of different uses. About Tesla, yeah, well, Tesla's gapping up today, but I mean, if we look at a 10-day chart, it's down a little bit from all this stuff. Same thing with Schwab. Like, we can look at a 10-day chart with Schwab and see it's pretty flat. 20-day chart's looking pretty rough. 180-day chart's looking really rough for Schwab here. The SPY itself, over the last 20 days, it's basically had a really good run. Like, the SPY itself has had like a huge move over the last 20 days. Schwab earnings are supposed to drop at 8:45. And the SPY is actually gapping up today. So the SPY is up this morning. Um, hmm. Now, maybe some of the premium versions of these AI softwares are gonna be useful. Let's try version 4. Okay. Yeah, so it seems like most of the AI programs that I'm looking at are just not super useful. Yeah, Tesla earnings this week too. So Wednesday, Tesla earnings start. So that'll be very relevant and big. Yeah, Google's down this morning after Samsung is considering replacing Google as its native search app. Let me get my Discord up. Haven't even looked at it today. Some mods, everybody. Yeah, so looking at our poll number, we did a poll here. We said, hey, does the market close green today? 56% of people say yes, 44% of people say no. Another dynamic here is that you got to look at the SPY itself. The SPY is actually gapping up already, and so we already have some extension on the upside heading into it. No major economic reports this week. We got a couple. We got this week isn't necessarily an economic release week, to be honest here. This week is more of an earnings week because earnings season starts this week. So that's really what's going on, is like earnings season is here. And so, yeah, earnings season is here. And that's kind of what's going on. It's like earnings season's here. We got Tesla, Netflix, United Airlines earnings all this week. Next week, we have even more earnings. And so the economic releases are slower this week, and earnings are going to kind of take hold of the market more so than economic releases. And again, we will be here to stream all of it. We don't have anything big today. We've got the New York State Empire Manufacturing Index coming out at 8:30 today. So we do have that today. Not a huge thing, but like somewhat relevant. We also have ECB president speaking. And then tomorrow we got Canadian CPI, building permits, housing starts. So we got some stuff dropping tomorrow with regards to like Canada CPI, housing starts, and building permits, which are relevant data for inflation. Wednesday, we got Tesla earnings. So Wednesday, we got Tesla earnings in the evening. We got European CPI in the morning. We've got Canadian housing starts, crude oil inventories. And then Thursday, we've got the Philly Fed Index, jobless claims numbers, existing and new home sales. So that's very relevant for market activity too. And then Friday, we got kind of like base PMI data. So we got some stuff coming out this week. It's not a crazy big week, but we got some stuff. What's up, King? IBM. Yeah, IBM comes out too. IBM will be relevant. IBM is not a huge stock anymore, but it's somewhat relevant. All right, guys. So, yeah, I've seen this post, and honestly, I absolutely agree with this post. Somebody said it blows my mind that people can't apply exponential growth to the capabilities of AI. This is one of the biggest arguments I get here. Say, oh, it's just a gimmick. It's not that good. It's like, bro, are y'all being objective here? Like, be objective, you know? Like somebody said, you would have been called a lunatic a year ago if you said we'd have GPT-4 level AI right now. Like 100%. Like people act like just because it's not perfect right now that the capability of AI is not huge. Like the ceiling for AI is ridiculously tall, you know? And it's something that people have to look at objectively. I don't care what opinion you had prior to this. I don't care how stubborn you might be with that opinion. You know, AI will change the landscape of a lot of different, you know, production based things, like without question. And it's only going to get better. AI is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, it's only going to get more efficient and more efficient and more efficient. That's what you got to understand about it. It doesn't matter what it is today, but what the big thing to look at is that today it is much better than anybody ever thought it would be. Um, I think people just get stubborn with opinions and they just don't want to look at it. But I think it's obvious. I think it's a very self evident thing at this point. Uh, Options expire this week, maybe. All right, guys. So um, who's the baseball shortstop? He's from where's he from? He's got a little bit of a weak arm, but he's a great bat. Um, I forget Francisco Lindor. That's who it is. Google had him at number one. People who deny it are just scared of it. People don't even know how this works on the back end. Once they have a little idea of the ML and DL works, they will have a different perspective on it. Is Google going to recover? Well, I don't see many difference between Bard and GPT, which I think is good for Google. I don't see huge differences, and so I think people have to understand like Google is not one dimensional as a company. Google owns a lot of different things and does a lot of different things. Like Google's GPS, their search engine, their AI, you know, YouTube, just a lot of different facets. Like Google Ads, like they make money and are diversified in a lot of different ways. And so I think Google will be fine, you know, as a company. Hmm. All right, guys. So SPY rebounding back up. It's over the 200 EMA. It's over the volume weighted average price. I might buy a little bit of this here. Just a small little trade. We got the move over VWAP in the 200 EMA. We'll see if the market bounces back here. Tesla's starting to reel back a little bit as well. Gapping up some today as well. So slight gap ups this morning for a lot of different stuff. Schwab doesn't look like it's out with their earnings yet. We don't know when those earnings are actually going to come out here. But they're supposed to come out sometime soon. And again, we just don't know. Schwab earnings supposed to come out at about an hour and a half or so. So we'll see when they do drop. Yeah, SPY bouncing up. We got one little 25 share position so far in it right now. Not a huge position. And again, this is a relatively slow economic week aside from earnings. So again, we do have Tesla earnings this week. Will be very big and relevant. Wednesday is when Tesla earnings are. So very big day for market activity. But Tesla earnings this week will be fun. Huge green week followed by a short squeeze next week. Maybe, man. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Vote on the poll. Again, we got Tesla earnings this week. We got Schwab earnings this morning. We've got Netflix earnings tomorrow, I believe. Let me see when Netflix earnings are going to be. I think they might be tomorrow. And again, we'll cover them. Tomorrow morning is the big day. So, yeah, tomorrow evening, we've got Netflix and UAL earnings. And I doubt we're actually going to stream the earnings call because Netflix drops a video release for their earnings. So, like, we don't need to stream it. But we will cover the actual release most likely. Where's the AMC at this morning? AMC falling back down under fives, but still struggling for AMC. I mean, they're up a little bit, but we might add some to this trade here. We're going to take another 50 shares or another 25 shares here and add a little bit more to this. What's up, Chris? Hey, good morning, man. All right, guys. So we're in a little bit. We got a little pop on the SPY here, slightly green now. So we did get a little pop. Tesla popping up a little bit. Schwab still waiting. There's a little move up for the SPY itself here, and again, we'll see if we got any other big earnings coming out. All right, so we're slightly green in the SPY trade, slightly green. If we get up a little bit more, we'll take profit, but I'm just not up enough yet for me here. So we're just not up enough yet for me. See if we get a little pop up more, but not quite there yet. Neo up 3.4%. Yeah, Neo has been a while, man. I mean, Neo, Funko Pop. You know, man, I tried to tell people, bro. Did they have a split? What happened to Funko Pop on the 22nd of November last year? Let's look it up. Okay, so BMO adjusts price target from 22 to 10. Yeah, I mean, I tried warning somebody about this stock. And again, the point is you can't invest in trendy things. That's the biggest thing that I see gets a lot of people. You can't invest in trendy things. You might be able to make money on a short-term basis, but on a long-term basis, there's vulnerabilities in doing so. And I'm not going to sit there and say, and the crazy part is like people will argue with me about it. Like I had some guy get so mad at me when I told him I didn't like Funko Pop. And I explained exactly why. Was that it's a trendy thing with trendy toy items and trends change. You know, like what's generations are really, if you want to know why, generations change, right? So like what one generation of kids might like, the next generation of kids might dislike. You know, and so because of that, you can't just sit in these companies long term and expect them to go up like Apple. You know, they're just not Apple. You know, the trends change. They're just not the same thing. And so it is what it is, but you know, in hindsight, I was very right. I was telling people this at 21, 22 bucks. They didn't want to listen. They got mad at me. I had to ban them eventually. But it is what it is. Schwab bouncing over the volume weighted average price. We are down a little bit on the SPY today. A little bit on the SPY at 413.10s. Oh man, I look down, SPY dipping down. I mean, we're down $8, but I definitely don't love it. I'm not loving life with this thing. Again, I'll give it time to test the volume weighted average price in the 200 EMA, but I'm not going to hold this forever. I'll probably get pretty tight with this in a second and just cut it, not worry about it too much. Yeah, again, the if you guys can learn anything from me, it's that, like, don't get wrapped up in hype. Like, your generation might like a specific thing, right? And this is the thing to understand. Maybe it's clothes, maybe it's toys, maybe it's Funko Pop. Your generation might like specific things, right? But you better understand the next generations that come around, they might not like those things. And if there's a stock with regards to like a public company here, there's vulnerabilities there. You know, I'm not saying they're going to fail. It's not like it's a for sure thing, but it's like when you look at putting money and stuff long term, you got to take that thought process out of it. You got to say, hey, I know I might like this specific thing. I know I'm passionate about Funko Pops. I'm not. I'm personally not. I'm just using this as an example. I don't care about Funko Pops. I think my daughter likes them. But point is, a certain generation might be passionate about things. My generation was Pokemon cards, you know. But if Pokemon was a company, I would not invest in it. Why? Because there's risk. Here, we're going to cut this and just not worry about it. Why? Because there's risks in investing in trendy, generational, is what we call them, products. Same thing with Funko Pop. And so if you're going to put money in something, make sure it's not a generational thing. Like, Disney's been around for 100 years. Amazon is not a generational thing. Everybody of all ages uses it. Google, everybody from all ages uses it. You know, like, we can go on and on. Microsoft, everybody uses Microsoft operating systems to a certain extent in one way or another. And so those are the products that are going to have the most longevity and be the safest to put money in long term. Short term, you never know what's going to happen, but I guess don't get wrapped up in your own passions and your own things, because that'll cause, you know, to lose money. Furby. I had a Furby. I had the Gizmo Furby from what was the movie? Gizmo from Gremlins. So yeah, Furby was my generation too. But if Furby was a stock, I would not invest in it. Pokemon's doing well. But again, it's not a bad example, Jim. It's actually exactly what I'm trying to prove, which is that regardless of how well it's doing, there's vulnerabilities there. All right. So, like, even if Pokemon's doing great, and I buy my son Pokemon cards, like I buy him Pokemon cards. But even if it was a stock, I would not invest in it. Why? Because there's risks. You know, maybe short-term swing traded or something, but am I going to invest in Pokemon for 30 years? Not unless you count buying cards, which I guess you could. No, I'm not. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is when you look at what you want to hold long-term, biggest edge you get is long-term investing. You know, that's the biggest edge you're going to get. And blue chips, not mid-caps, not penny stocks. Blue chip, large cap, healthy companies. Buying those and sitting on those for 10 plus years. Biggest edge, biggest percentage gain, most likely, that you'll get in terms of safe percentage gains. That's the biggest edge you'll ever get in the market. And don't let anybody trying to sell you a penny stock course or trying to sell you a get rich quick scheme make you think it's not. I day trade, I swing trade, I invest, but the biggest edge you get is putting money in S&P 500 really and just letting it sit for 10 years. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to buy blue chips, just don't get wrapped up in hyped up stocks like Funko Pop or whatever it is, you know. What's up, Ricky? Yeah, I had a Furby, man. That thing would never be quiet. It would never shut up. That thing would just scare my friends, you know. All right, Schwab's starting to move back up a little bit. The earnings are not supposed to drop until another about an hour and 15 minutes or so. I think the earnings are scheduled. And again, the big thing to understand is that they don't have to come out at any specific time. Like, they might schedule it for 8:45 and then drop it at 8 or drop it at 8:15. So there's no it's not strict with regards to like what time these earnings come out. They can say whatever time they want and then drop it 30, 45 minutes early. And so we really don't know when the earnings for Schwab are going to come out. We just don't know. I've had a few people mention ELF. Let's take a look at it. Is this an oil-backed ETF or something? What kind of company is this? Isn't this oil? Yeah, we had cool toys. You know, toys are cool, but toys have a lifespan that isn't long. Shaq has been served in an FTX class action lawsuit after lawyers claimed he had, quote, been hiding and driving away from our process servers for the past 3 months. I mean, to his credit, though, that's kind of what you do. You know, like if anybody's ever seen Pineapple Express, what you do to servers is you run from them and you never admit who you are. I mean, I'm not telling you to do anything, but that's what a lot of people do. And so you can't really, the more you procrastinate it, the better it is, you know, because sometimes they do just give up. And so he was probably advised to do that from his attorney. Again, I don't think it really matters though here, guys. I think that you can't get mad at advertisers. You can't get mad at people who were paid to promote specific brokerages if those brokerages go out of business. You know, here's an example. Is Beanie Babies were huge. McDonald's promoted them, took money from them. You know, all this stuff. Beanie Babies were huge. McDonald's partnered with Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies lost a ton of value afterwards. Can people sue McDonald's and say, hey guys, y'all promoted Beanie Babies and they lost all this value? No. You know why? It's because they're just paid spokesperson. I don't even know if McDonald's was a paid person, but that's just kind of an example. You can't really get mad at at sponsorees. Again, I can promote a platform. If that platform goes out of business, it's not my fault whatsoever. You got to get mad at the company itself, not the paid promoters of the company. They're just getting paid to do it. Like if you've ever seen a late night infomercial, you think these people really use those products? Of course not. Of course they don't use those products. They're just getting paid to promote it. You know, are we going to get mad at them? No, you get mad at the company itself. You know, they don't have anything to do with it. And that's the same thing with Shaq. People are just mad they lost money and they're looking for, you know, people to blame. But it's not going to stick. It's not going to work. It doesn't matter. You know, and if it does, if they do convict any of these people, it's terrible. It's not right. It's not something that should necessarily happen. And I never promoted FTX. I never put a penny in FTX. I never used FTX. But the point still remains. Beauty supply company, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, lawyers are just looking to take people's money from them. They're just getting a bunch of people wrapped up. They're exaggerating their chances of winning, and they're just getting a bunch of people like, yeah, let's sue Shaq, and it's like it doesn't matter. People are mad at BitBoy. Now, I will say this. Okay, I'll say the difference here lies in if you promoted specifically a crypto token You promoted a crypto token, it's different. You promoted an actual specific stock symbol, especially a penny stock, and you got paid for it. That's completely different. That's a different story completely. Because again, that is a more fine ethical line, I should say. Again, you get paid to pump up something in crypto, especially. You get a lot of your users to buy one specific crypto token, and then that crypto token basically rug pulls everybody. That's a completely different story. That should be criticized. People should be critical of that. Um, People are mad about the Solana fund. Right, 100%. FTX was just a bad company that tricked investors. No reason to get mad at their the sponsorees. 100%. Yeah, I agree. I think it depends on what Shaq did. You know, if Shaq promoted like a sketchy, obscure crypto token, that's different. You know. All right, guys. Elf is up. I don't know much about this cosmetic company. Had a huge gain, but I'm skeptical, of course. I just don't know enough about it. Tesla bouncing at the volume weighted average price. We got like the Q up here today. Q's pretty flat on the day, so tech is a little bit neutral here. It looks like. Um, and yeah, I mean Google's down because of the Samsung news, but it's still up huge over the last 6 months. You know, so it's like I was a big buyer of Google when it was at like 80s, 90s. It's up to basically 105 still. It was at 110s prior to this. So Google's still up huge over the last 6 months. A lot of tech stocks are that I called out. Um, Eventually they're going to pull back a little bit, but a part of me is thinking I should buy the dip in Google because I think Bard's not bad. I've used it. All right, so Starship Spaces. So when is that launch supposed to be? Or did it already happen? Hmm. When is that launch supposed to be, guys? Chat. Hey, can you explain what the Empire State Manufacturing Index actually is? Yeah, sure. So, like, the Empire State Manufacturing Index is, as the name suggests, just a manufacturing index. If you don't know what that is, basically, above zero means improving manufacturing conditions. Below zero means worsening manufacturing conditions. Um, but it's also like above zero generally means more positive for the US dollar, which means negative for stocks, and vice versa. Expectations for the New York State Manufacturing Index are at minus 18. Minus 18. So, again, the lower, the better it is for inflation problems, the worse for recession fears, basically. So, we don't really know what kind of response we're going to get here. We really don't. We're waiting for Schwab earnings to come out as well. It might be relevant also. And then we do have Lagarde speaking today about something. All right, guys. So again, the Q is testing the previous closing price, kind of chopping back and forth here. SPY pulled it back here. We had a little bit of a swing trade, but we ended up, or not a swing trade, a little bit of a dip buy, but we ended up cutting in. We're just gonna wait now. Again, market's up so much where I'm not really interested in buying anything with a swing trade, but I need a pullback. We get a decent pullback, I'll start considering it. Starship being tested today. When is the launch supposed to be? 8 a.m. Flight test. Okay, gotcha. First Republic earnings are sometime over the next couple weeks. I did see that. That's going to be interesting too. That's one of the more interesting earnings releases we got this week is First Republic. Their earnings are going to be on the 24th. So next week, next Monday is when FRC earnings are going to be. And we'll probably stream it just because this is going to be a chaotic earnings report, I think, in terms of like what's happening. So we'll definitely cover that. All right, team. So again, we're kind of sitting back here. I don't want to short anything, of course. And again, we got a little bit of time. What are you watching right now? We're watching The Spy, Schwab, Tesla, Google, Disney a little bit here. Part of me might start to scale into Disney here with summer coming up and Disney World being open and all that stuff. It's still a little bit cheap or a little bit too high up for me. I mean, it's still a little bit too expensive here, but like we got time, we really got time. And so again, let me know what you guys are watching today. What are y'all's favorite stocks today and why? I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go grab something. I'll be right back. Before we go check this, though, guys, answer this question. Does Disney move up? Does Disney move up some from where it is now? Let me know in the chat. Answer in the chat. We'll see if it does or not. But answer in the chat. Let me know. All right, we are back here, guys. We are back. Again, let me know what you guys think. Checking out the chat. I have positions in Disney, not sure. The 820 for new Starship launch. Should we cover that? Should we cover the Starship launch? I guess I could. Part of me wants to buy Disney. It's right at $100. Right at $100. And we'll see how the launch affects like Tesla, all that stuff. Spy up to 412s, almost 413s here. Tesla at 186.60s. Yeah, so this week we've got Schwab, Tesla, Netflix, Goldman Sachs earnings today. So kind of a big week in all honesty here. Schwab earnings are coming up pretty soon. They're not really moving yet, but we do have the Empire State Manufacturing data coming out. All right, team. Microsoft. Is Microsoft up now? My guess is it's going to be up from The Samsung news. Yeah, so it's gapping up big. So basically, Samsung is considering using Bing instead of Google for its search engine. They put out that the other day. And basically what the news actually was here was yeah, it's an interesting dynamic here. Bing hasn't been super relevant for years and years, but over the last couple months, it has really sparked off. SPY moving up. It's at basically 413s right now, still under the volume weighted average price, under the 200 EMA here. So still underneath all that stuff. Yeah, I think there might be, but I think I don't hate that idea. Of like a dip buy in Google. I think it makes sense, and they could go, and that could play out fairly well. So I think that makes sense, and it could play out. Yeah, SPY bouncing back to 413s. SPY rejected at 413, still coming right back down now. Yeah, SpaceX. Yeah, we'll try to cover the SpaceX launch actually. All right, so again, SPY rejecting here. Where do you watch the SpaceX launch, guys? So where do you watch the SpaceX launch? Because that's the big thing, is just where to watch it. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll maybe we'll try to cover it here. All right, look at Schwab rip up here. So did Schwab drop their earnings? Let me see. They could have. I don't know if they did or not. Let's see. Look at Schwab rip up here. So let's cover their earnings here. Their earnings must be out already. right, so Schwab, maybe not. Maybe their earnings aren't out yet. Yeah. Hmm. All right, so yeah, we're getting that set up now. SpaceX testing the top of the range here and then pulling back. Not SpaceX. Schwab testing the top of the range and then dipping down a little bit here. So again, we are looking at this and trying to cover the Schwab SpaceX launch. Let me see what it looked like here. Let me see if we can build a thumbnail for this here. I guess the question is, do you think Tesla will react to this? When's the launch supposed to be? Wait, how many SpaceX pages are there? Are these just scams, dude? These are scams. Oh, no, these aren't scams. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these are scams, dude. Bro. Y'all just be careful. Some of these are scams. They're fake. Like, I've seen multiple SpaceX Inc. They don't show you the chat. They don't show you the comments. They basically... Yeah, they're basically trying to get you to scan some sketchy QR code. Y'all be careful, man. Not all of them. There's some legit ones. Again, Schwab consolidating here. I'm trying to figure out whether I should cover this or not, though. So about an hour. State Street is reported earnings. So yeah, State Street. Yeah, just be careful clicking on the SpaceX trying to get all right, guys. So I don't know if so with the Empire State Manufacturing Index, Okay, so a higher number will mean that there is increased manufacturing activity. Okay, so basically, a higher number indicates improving conditions. So over zero means improving conditions, and the higher goes, the better, more improving conditions there are. Below zero, which is what's expected, expected is minus 18, right? Below zero indicates worsening conditions, right? Worsening conditions. And so expectations are for minus 18 for the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. That's what we got right now. We're waiting for Schwab. It looks like State Street did report their numbers here, which is STT. Uh, Schwab still ain't out yet, and Schwab is not scheduled to drop theirs until 8:45 market time. Look at State Street dump though, and I'm really interested to see how this impacts everything. Look at State Street. So State Street did drop their numbers. State Street posted 152 versus 164 EPS at 3.1 billion versus 3.12 billion estimate. So missed on both metrics here for State Street. And you can see State Street just dumped down here. I'll put the numbers up in chat so you can see them. So but yeah, State Street. SPY popped up a little bit. We're still waiting for Schwab, which isn't really out with anything yet. They are very choppy and neutral. They're basically consolidating all day. Tesla's starting to move back up. It's almost up to 187s now. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna cover the New York State Empire State Manufacturing Index, and then after we cover that, we're gonna pivot over to the SpaceX launch and see how that impacts everything. So again, correct me if I'm wrong. The SpaceX launch is for 9 a.m. market time, right? So 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Central. Correct? It is right around 7 a.m. Central Time right now. So we still should have about an hour before the SpaceX launch. No, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, targeting 8:20 Central Time. Okay, gotcha. Stream starts in 15 minutes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, just be careful. When I checked here, guys, there's a lot of scams. There's a lot of scams here. Like when I looked it up, some of them are legit. But if you see one that says SpaceX, it is almost certainly a scam. Like I'm going to show you guys this so you guys can understand it. All right. Okay. Like I'm going to show you guys this so you can understand it. Okay, scams. Scam. Okay, it doesn't matter if they got, or no. It doesn't matter if they have the check mark. Okay, because like what they did was they got check marks and then they're scamming you. So there's so many SpaceX launches that claim to be SpaceX, right? And then when you click on them, they're not the real SpaceX. It doesn't matter if they have a check mark or not. They're not the real SpaceX. They're sending it bot viewers, and then they're trying to get you to. They're splicing together old videos of Elon Musk, and they're trying to get you to click on a QR code that will basically steal your cryptocurrency. Is what they are trying to do. If you go to each different one, They are scamming completely. These are scammers. They are sending fake promo codes, fake missions. Um, None of these are real. And if you look back at their old videos, none of them are legit. Like some of them are from old Indian versions of American Idol. Nepal Idol is what it's called. So these are just old scammers. They're trying to scam people. So just be careful, guys. If you're looking for the SpaceX launch, we're going to cover it when it goes live. It's not live yet. It goes live in about 20 minutes. And some of these are legit. Like I see Everyday Astronaut is legit. But most of these are fake, in all honesty. It looks like maybe the one real one is the SpaceX with. Let me check this. Yeah, so the SpaceX with 6.2 million subs is real. But the rest of them are not. So man, they're getting good at these fakes. And again, what they'll do is they'll try to get you to send them crypto. All right, my bad, guys. I think I just missed Schwab. So Schwab looks like they're out with their earnings here. Schwab posted adjusted EPS of 93 cents for Schwab. Adjusted EPS of 93 cents versus 90 cents expected. So better than expected EPS for Schwab. Net revenue of 5.12 billion versus 5.21 billion. So lower than expected revenue. Schwab posted 93 cents versus 90 cents estimate, so better than expected EPS. Sales of 5.12 billion, missed the 5.15 billion estimate, and Schwab is tanking down here. So Schwab is dropping big. We'll put these numbers up on screen here so you can see them. But Schwab, mixed results here, mixed results. Oh, it might affect Tesla, is what a lot of people are speculating. But yeah, Schwab with mixed results here. Better than expected EPS by about 0.3, by about 3 cents per share. Worse than expected rev for sales. But yeah, there's the Schwab numbers at the bottom of the screen if you want to read them. I didn't even do any keywords today. So what is the Starship? All right, so again, Schwab consolidating. All right, market's consolidating. We do have the New York Empire Manufacturing Index. All right, so yeah, we got about 8 minutes before the actual launch is supposed to go live. All right, so yeah, we'll see how this affects everything here. There we go. Again, Schwab consolidating, basically completely flat here. Yeah, I mean, it was mixed results, so I mean, you can't really expect it to do too much. I think here, I don't think it's gonna impact it too heavily. In terms of like mixed results are gonna be mixed results. They're gonna be sideways, you know. All right, so look at Schwab testing that previous closing price. Tesla's still moving up ahead of this, and the launch is scheduled pretty soon. All right, to update you on the SpaceX Starship rocket, so it's a 400-foot Moon and Mars rocket on the launch pad. It's in South Texas, so it's kind of around me. It's going to do its test flight. If this does not succeed, it's going to delay things for months. Okay, that's the reason this is important. Um, so it's going to try. It's going to try to launch the Starship into space for the first time. Now, remember, SpaceX is not a public company, but it will move Tesla, I would say, at least a little bit. And again, the stream for this is supposed to start in about 5 minutes. Yeah, BLBX. What is BLBX? I don't know what that is. Oh. BB stocks. Oh, yeah. I mean, this could be a pump and dump for all I know, unless it had earnings. I just don't know anything about this company. I've seen advertisements, like pay-per-click advertisements on like Facebook and Google. But they entered into a letter of intent with F-Tech, so they are merging. Fourth quarter sales came in at 1.07 million, missed the 1.2 million estimates that came in a couple days ago. But yeah, this is a merger. A letter of intent merger with F-Tech Group, a supplier of luxury brands in the EV and performance automotive market. SPY's starting to move up a little bit. It's at 413.17s right now. Tesla at 187s here. So Tesla moving up with all this stuff too. And again, we are waiting for the launch to go live here. So you're going to see it goes live in about 4 minutes and 40 seconds. And we're going to try to fix this screen up so we can watch all of it here. Let me try to fix this, and then we will put maybe 2 charts up like that. There we go. And then maybe we'll throw 1 chart underneath it so we can kind of catch everything. Is Google a dip buy? I guess is a question here. Is Google a dip buy? Schwab pulling back down finally. We also have the New York State Manufacturing Index going live in a couple minutes. There we go. All right, so we got the Tesla chart underneath this. There we go. All right, we are ready. Coin. What is it? Is Bitcoin dropping? Coin's gapping down, but it's not like it's a crazy big gap down. It depends on what level Bitcoin is at today. Like that's going to influence this. Like, where's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin's still at 30.3 thousand. So, I mean, Bitcoin hasn't really lost too much value. SPY moving up. It's at 413s. Any prediction for Netflix earnings? I really don't know there. I think Netflix is up a lot over the last couple, months. So in that regard, Netflix very green on the year too, or Netflix is basically flat, completely flat on the year. But it's rebounded a lot from the big drops that it made in early of 2022. So early 2022, it dropped from bad earnings is really what it was. It was like I remember this. So yeah, it dropped from 350s all the way down to 160s, and then it basically rebounded all the way back up here. SPY starting to head up too. SPY up to 413.20s right now, 413.20s here. So the SPY is heading up, moving up some with this as well. All right, so SpaceX is now aiming to launch at 9:20 Eastern Standard Time, 9:20. We also have the New York State Manufacturing Index dropping. Let me put this up so people can see. All right, guys, and again, we'll see about the Starship test flight. It's supposed to start at 1:13. All right, in 1:13, a minute and 13 seconds. Just be careful. Again, if you're looking for the Starship test flight, just be careful. There's a lot of scammers out there. We don't know what Tesla's going to do. We really don't know what Tesla's going to do here. We can only speculate. I'm assuming if the launch doesn't go as planned, then we're going to have some slight negative reaction to this. But pure speculation. Again, really don't know for sure what we're going to get there. Let me know what you guys think. Looking at our poll numbers here, we asked people if they thought we were going to end green today. 600 votes, 55% say yes, 45% said no. So, again, let me know what you guys think. We're waiting for SpaceX to start the stream. Should be starting it pretty soon now, sometime in the next minute or so, hopefully. Look at Tesla rip up, though. Tesla is moving up, to, in wake of all this. Tesla up to 187s. So fueling of the super heavy booster is underway. Again, we're trying to get to the launch here, waiting for the launch to start. Let me refresh this just to make sure it's happening. Nope, still haven't started it yet. Still waiting on SpaceX. SPY pulling back down, but been very choppy today. Schwab's still moving back up. So Schwab actually had mixed results. Let's see if they dropped anything else for Schwab in terms of numbers or whatever. So Schwab cites recent events with U.S. banking and resulting regulatory uncertainty. And why? They're dropping. They said, quote, current headwinds will prove transitory and we remain well positioned to deliver long-term value to our stockholders. So basically saying that they're going to be okay. Yeah, I mean, regardless of whether we get market reactions, it's still interesting to cover the space flight. A lot of interest there. SPY turning here. Look at the SPY turn. Is there a justification for this? Does anybody know why the market's dropping? Let me check news reports. I don't really see anything here. So yeah, they're still waiting on the test flight to start. Still not live yet. Checking some other sources here. All right, guys. SPY pulling back a little bit here. Tesla pulled back to 187. Still trying to hold here. Trying to hold. Dollar bouncing. Yeah. Schwab moving up, honestly. I'm trying to figure out why the market's dropping, though. I don't see any justification for the drops. Apple, not really down a ton. Microsoft pulling back some. Google down pretty big today, of course. Amazon flat on the day. Not really too much activity there. No, Schwab's not really a huge cap stock, though, Bobby. So like Schwab isn't going to be a wild influence over the market. It'll move the market some, and especially like in wake of all the banking stuff that's happened, it might move the market some. But how much? Again, we just don't know. Yeah, I know there's another feed up. What I'm wondering if I can put that feed up without worrying about a copyright, um, which I should be able to because it's all fair use. But I want to be safe. I see Spaceflight now has it. So, yeah, they're targeting 8:20 Central Time, so about 10 minutes before the opening bell. Tesla's a little bit late on it. I could put another thing up if you guys want to watch it, but I think today we see some big moves on NASDAQ. Bitcoin's not really dumping. It might be falling a little bit, but it's not going to go up forever. Yeah, so cryogenic propellant load of Starship is underway. Liftoff is in T-minus 1 hour. Tweet from Elon about a minute ago. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know if it's going to move markets a ton. I mean, the results were pretty mixed for Schwab as well. I mean, they were flat. Like, it wasn't like crazy good numbers for Schwab, I guess is the point. It wasn't terrible despite the quarter that happened, was kind of a rough quarter. So I think neutral is good here for Schwab. It's a lot better than Schwab's already down a lot. And so it's a lot better than if Schwab was, had really bad numbers. Well, they're late starting the rocket stream up.
Booster, you see.
Yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen today in the market, guys? Let me know. All right, so they pushed it back another 10 minutes, guys. So they pushed back the start of the stream for another 10 or 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes. And so at this point in time, you can see they just bumped it back to 7:35. So that is in about 12 minutes or so, about 12 minutes, 11 and a half minutes. So at least they're giving us an update there. So yeah, give us about 12 minutes and we'll be covering the SpaceX launch. And for that time being, we do have, that gives us enough time to cover the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index that drops in about 7 minutes, Ooh, man, my stomach is messing with me this morning. Amazon popping back up a little bit, though. Schwab trying to move up some as well here. But yeah, they did push this back a little bit. And so we're just going to kind of chill and wait for this to start. Again, let me know what you guys think the market's going to do here. Yeah, so cryogenic propellant load. All right, Schwab's starting to move up a little bit. I don't know if it's going to drag the market up, but it's almost back up to 52 here. And again, in about 5 minutes, we got the Empire State Manufacturing Index dropping. Again, higher than expected number will most likely signal higher inflation problems, but better economical growth. And lower than expected number will equal the opposite of that. And so time will tell, but let me know what you guys are expecting for the Empire State Index, which comes out in a couple minutes. Schwab testing the top here over 52s. Part of me wants to buy the dip, but I think I'm just going to chill here and wait. We still got about an hour before the market opens. Again, the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index drops pretty soon, and we'll cover it when it goes live. Yeah, we're gonna stream the full Tesla earnings as well, guys. So yeah, we will stream the entire Tesla earnings. Again, my big thing here is like we cover all the big economic data. We cover jobless claims, retail sales, Tesla earnings, Amazon earnings, Google earnings, Apple earnings, Disney earnings, CPI, PPI, jobless claims. Fed rate hike decisions, ECB press conferences, all that stuff. So we cover all the big economic stuff here. Anything that moves markets, we try to cover, and it's all for free. Like my vision for the channel is not selling a course, not selling, some type of mentorship service, and just kind of putting everything out there for free, putting out economical data for free, showing people what it means, how to find it, how to interpret it, and all that good stuff without necessarily claiming to be an expert. And that's what we do here. So if you appreciate that, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. We will be streaming Netflix and Tesla earnings coming out this week, which is a big week for that stuff. So we had Schwab earnings that we covered. You can see the Schwab earnings below. This evening, we got Pinnacle, FB Financial, JB Hunt, CrossFit, and Equity Lifestyle. And then tomorrow we've got a bunch of stuff in the morning. So Bank of America, Johnson & Johnson, Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin, Bank of New York, Mercantile, Ericsson, all drop tomorrow morning. And then Netflix, UAL, IB, Hancock Whitney, Fulton, Western Alliance drop tomorrow evening as well. So a lot of stuff happening, guys, to be honest, over the next couple of days. Again, we do have the I'm not an expert, but I appreciate the support wholesale. We try not to be an expert here. We just try to discourage using the word expert is what I mean. Just because I'm not an expert. At this point in time, like, I've just seen so much ridiculous stuff, bro. Like, I saw a 15-year-old day trading guru yesterday on Twitter, and like, I just kind of shook my head about it. It's just kind of like, bro, who buys this stuff? Like, who is dumb enough to think that a 15-year-old actually knows how to day trade accurately and is some type of market guru expert? You know what I mean? Like, little 15-year-old with braces acting like he's some stock market guru selling courses out here, just slanging courses, And it's like young people relate to him more, so they just eat it up. Like, bro, listen, a 15-year-old doesn't have enough time to really learn how to be an expert in the financial markets. He just doesn't. He's just looking at it from a business perspective. He's like that kid. Who was that guru kid who was like, it was so cheesy, man. Who was the guru kid with braces? Gary V and like whatever his name was. We should frown on that, man. There's no way I would let my son act like that. Like, yeah, definitely top 3 15-year-old expert criticizer in the world right now, for sure. Definitely top 3. All right, guys, we got 20 seconds before the New York State Manufacturing Index numbers drop. 20 seconds, guys. Let's see what this shows up as. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're caught up on stream. Again, hit the live button to make sure you're caught up next to the play button on your player. 10 seconds. Minus 18 is what's expected here. Minus 18. And here we go. All right, here's the data release right now. All right, so the data came in here at 10.8, better than expected, higher than expected, 10.8 versus minus 18 expected. So way more positive economical influence today than expected here. It came in much more positive than expected. They thought they would come in at minus 18. It ended up showing up at almost plus 11, plus 10.8. So way higher than expected. New York State Manufacturing Index data here, way higher than expected. Again, it came in at plus 10.8 versus minus 18 expected here. So what that means is more economical GDP growth, potentially more inflation though. But yeah, more economical growth here. And the markets, they're not really reacting a ton to this. Again, it means improving manufacturing conditions. Is what this means, improving manufacturing conditions, which it looks like the market is not liking. Again, it does mean worse inflation problems. It means more economical growth, but worse inflation problems. Like, that's really what it means here. I'll put the data up on screen. Yeah, there you go. So that's the data right there. And then market's not really loving it. It's dropping down. Again, it means more inflation problems. There are a lot of gurus these days saying they make tons of money. Yeah, man. I mean, and they, like, bro, I always tell people, like, I don't want to be a day trading guru here, man. If you notice my channel over the last couple of years, I used to do the whole day trading guru thing, man. And again, over the last couple of years, I've kind of pivoted away from that. Like at this point in time, like we're just an economic slash market channel. Like we don't claim to be good traders. We don't claim to be experts. We cover economical data and like stock news and data. That's it. We're just a stock news channel now. Stock news, futures. We trade futures. We trade stocks. We day trade. We swing trade. We invest. We don't claim to be good or experts at any of that stuff. I think the track record with regards to my swings that I've called out on the channel speaks for itself. But I don't want anybody to copy me either. But I just think there's enough day trading gurus out there, you know. And I'm okay if you want to say you're good and you're not selling a course to your subscribers, and like that's one thing. Even if you sell a course, but it's like $100 or $200 or $300 even, that's fine. I'm not against that. But if you're out here trying to sell it for like $6,000, $10,000, it should be frowned upon. Yeah, regardless of individually like good days, it doesn't matter. Like I don't care about any of that. Like regardless of how many views I get acting like that, I'm never gonna be like that. It's just too much. At this point in time, I've backed myself into a corner where if I tried to sell a course, I would get so much heat for it that I could never do it now. And honestly, good. Like I don't want to sell a course. I probably could make, bro. I could make millions if I sold a course. With the amount of views we get, like I could put out a sleazy, gimmicky course. You know, take the like I could do it very easily. But I just don't want to. I want to sleep good at night. I'd rather just create like something that's genuinely valuable for people. Like I don't need to be good if my data is good. Anyways, market's pulling all the way back down to the previous closing price here, trying to bounce. We'll see if it does. All right, guys. So the Tesla stream should be starting pretty soon. We'll see how that impacts Tesla, or the SpaceX stream should be starting pretty soon. We'll see how that impacts Tesla, all this other stuff. Tesla bouncing up a little bit, almost to 186.80s. Hey, thank you, wholesale. Yeah, we try. Again, I'm not against anybody. I never mention names. I just don't want to be. I don't want, like, pressure kills profit. The more pressure you put on yourself, the harder it is to make money. I'd rather just tell people I'm not an expert and like trade my own way, and not have to worry about being criticized by anybody in terms of my trading profit. You'll still get people who try to act like I'm purely a day trader and that like I'm not a good day trader. And like it doesn't matter. Like none of it, who cares? Like I'm not trying to be a day trading guru. Like I don't think that is necessarily sustainable. But what is sustainable is like a stock market news channel that covers economical data, stock market news, broad market is what I'm covering. Yeah. We did the whole day trading thing, and we day trade, of course. And some of our sponsors are day traders. And I think if you're going to day trade, you should try a funded account program, because that's what's ultimately going to be the cheapest, safest way to learn. Most people still probably lose funded account programs, but it's a lot cheaper to lose a Top Step account than it is to put up 50K yourself and lose thousands, or put up over 25K if you want to do it in stocks and lose thousands. And there's no PDT in futures. You can day trade short futures, no PDT rule. All right, there we go. The stream is live, guys. The SpaceX stream is live. We're waiting for the hold music to stop, but the SpaceX stream is live here. But yeah, if you want to check out Top Step right now and try these funded account programs where they give you a demo, if you can hit the target on their demo while following their rules, they fund you between 50K up to 150K as long as you can pass both phases in their tests. And again, I think most people are going to lose those. But I think the point is that it's a lot cheaper to lose a Top Step account than it is to put up 10K and lose thousands. You can get 25% off right now. So for the time being, you can get 25% off, which is very rare. They don't usually offer 25% off. You can get 25% off right now for their express funded accounts, because you can have up to 3, which I think is super cool. So you can have up to 3 express funded accounts right now. And again, they're the most legit funded futures program in the world. They've been around for over 10 years. Funded thousands of traders a year, pay out millions in dollars of actual withdrawal money every year. So millions of dollars are withdrawn from them a year from their funded traders. And again, it genuinely builds your skill. It helps you, just learn how to trade in a much cheaper way. There's the link right there. I'm biased in their favor, of course. They are a sponsor of mine, and so I'm certainly biased in their favor. We are on the SpaceX stream. We are waiting for it to start. And when you day trade futures, you're essentially day trading the S&P 500. Like that's what you're day trading is the S&P 500. And when you day trade the E-mini, that is, you're day trading the S&P 500. Now you could trade gold or silver or cattle prices or whatever, the NASDAQ. But like I stick with doing the S&P 500 because that's the most similar to stocks. Like that's basically what's moving stocks is the S&P 500. And you can day trade that with no PDT in futures. So that's why I do it. Link is in the description. Mac, as well as you can see the link a couple comments below you, above you. It's called Top Step. All right, guys, but yeah, we are waiting here. They have started the stream. Nothing's going on yet, I don't believe. I'm gonna mute the music so to make sure nothing's going on. But yeah, hold on. Let me mute the music. Yeah, it's just hold music going on right now. So we are just hanging out here waiting. SPY bounced it all the way back from the New York State Manufacturing Index move here. I'm also going to throw it in sub-only mode here, team. So if you have not already, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. We are live right now. Subscribe to the channel, guys. We appreciate it. No D, and if you promote them, you'll get banned, sir. Whoever it is, too many bots trying to promote random products in my chat room, you know. But yeah, announce yourself, show us you're subscribed. We cover all the major economic data with regards to Tesla. We cover Investor Day. We cover earnings. We cover Apple earnings, Disney earnings, Amazon earnings. This morning we had Schwab earnings, and you can see Schwab's pretty flat on this day. We're going to watch the SpaceX launch. Here we go. All right, guys. All right, guys. Sound check. Sound should be good, right? Oh. There we go. Is it loud? Is it too loud? There we go. All right, guys.
Good morning. You're looking at a live view of Starship as it awaits its first ever integrated flight test from Starbase, Texas, in just a little over from 40 minutes from now. Today, we're hoping to see our Super Heavy booster and Starship spacecraft, collectively referred to as Starship, lift off together for the first time. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kate Tice, Quality Systems Engineering Manager here at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California.
And I'm Shiva Bharadwaj, a space operations engineer here at SpaceX. Now, as many of you know, Starship is SpaceX's latest and largest vehicle developed to date. It represents a fully reusable transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo to Earth orbit, the moon, Mars, and beyond.
If you've been following the development of Starship over the last couple of years, you know we've been doing a lot of testing leading up to this big one. Once fully developed, it will be the world's most powerful launch vehicle with twice the thrust of Saturn V rocket and the ability to carry up to 150 metric tons to orbit. For reference, a 1 liter bottle of water is 1 kilogram, so 150 metric tons is basically 150,000 1 liter bottles of water, or as I like to think of it, one rather lonely blue whale.
Now, today's test will be the first of many as we work towards transitioning Starship from a developmental to an operational program. Our primary objective today is
Tesla
to
moving
gather
up.
as much data as we can around the fully integrated vehicles. That means the booster and the Starship and the ground systems. While we have flown Starship in the past, this will be the first attempt of Super Heavy and the first opportunity to validate how the two vehicles operate together.
Any data that we get helps
Texas.
improve the future builds of Starship will be considered a success for the purposes of today's test. Every milestone beyond that is icing on the cake. The further we fly, the more data we can collect. If all goes well, today's flight test could last as long as 90 minutes from liftoff to an expected hard ocean landing for Starship.
Interesting.
Whether we end the test with a hard landing or a rapid unscheduled disassembly or some combination of both, excitement is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
Now, if it does all go well, Super Heavy will fire up its 33 Raptor engines and it'll lift off from the launch pad down in South Texas. About 3 minutes into the flight, we're going to hope to see the Super Heavy separate from the Starship spacecraft. It'll then perform a flip maneuver. So there's that. You can see that on your screen.
Yeah.
And then it'll boost back in order to make a hard landing in the Gulf of Mexico.
And while that's happening, we hope to see Starship's 6-second stage engines ignite and watch as Starship coasts for about an hour at altitudes ranging between 150 and 250 kilometers before re-entering Earth's atmosphere and make its own hard landing in the Pacific Ocean about 250-ish kilometers offshore.
That's cool. Hey, we'll see if
Now,
it does
we
it.
are getting great camera views right now, but that's because
look
we
at
are
that.
on the launch pad. So we've got umbilicals and connections straight to the vehicle. But we aren't expecting to get very many good views once we get past booster separation.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do promise, though, for any views that we
Makes sense.
do get, we will share them in real time. We are watching live with you all, so we're excited to see those views ourselves as well.
Now, in a little bit, we are going to
Interesting, guys.
take a closer look at the vehicle and the launch pad. But first, today is a super exciting day. Everyone on the teams across Starship have been preparing, doing a number of tests and dress rehearsals for today's launch attempt.
Yeah, that's
we're gonna
exactly
do a
right.
poll.
In fact, we saw a nice little recap of those tests in the intro video to today's webcast. For those of you that are following along, you know that many of those tests ended in those rapid unscheduled disassemblies, or RUDs, as we like to call them. And it's been a long road to today. Just in 2022 alone, we had 9 static fires. We've had a couple of wet dress rehearsals. And of course, the launch control team has done numerous simulations as well.
All right, guys. So we got a poll going on right now that we just did. We ended the previous poll and we added a new poll going live right now. So vote on the poll. Let us know. We asked people, do you think this launch goes smoothly today for SpaceX? You know, people are asking, like, what's the sympathy here? Like, why is this relevant? This will probably move a couple different symbols. Main one being Tesla, of course, since it's related to Tesla, with both being Elon companies. The other one is SPCE. SPCE. Virgin Galactic Holdings Space is what it's called. It's had a pretty bad couple years, but there might be some sympathy in that regard for it. So again, we'll see what happens here.
At our watch event in South Padre Island. Hey, Zach, how are things going on the ground?
It is a great day for a test launch today, Kate. Hello, everyone. My name is Zachary Lupin, and I'm an avionics reliability engineer here at SpaceX, and I'm at the Cameron County Amphitheater, where a growing number of SpaceX employees are gathering to watch what we hope is the first liftoff of a fully integrated Starship. Now, the Starship team has worked incredibly hard for today's launch test. Over the past weekend, teams held a launch readiness review, which included a comprehensive review of all of our vehicle systems, looking at avionics, GNC, communications, software, structures, as well as our Raptor engines and propulsion in general. Now, we are only about 5 miles away from the launch pad, so it's a pretty good view for today. And as we get into as we start to approach T-0, everyone here is clearly very excited for the events that are happening today. So as we get closer to T-0, I'm going to throw it back to Hawthorne to talk more about our rocket.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Zach. And we've actually got a little bit of a crowd forming behind us, too.
That's a cool
Now,
view,
we've
man.
got a shot of Starship on the screen.
This is in
The
South
entire
Texas.
Starship structure you see is made of stainless steel. And when that's fully stacked, it stands about 120 meters tall and about 9 meters around. To help you give a sense of just how big that is, we've captured a video of some of our teams doing final integration prep work in advance of today's test flight.
Just like Falcon 9, Starship has 2 stages, which we will talk a little bit more about in a minute. But in addition to those 2 stages, Starship actually has a 3rd stage called Stage 0. It consists of all the launch pad infrastructure built around the rocket. You can see a great view of it there on your screen. It's truly an engineering feat in its own right.
And I feel like it's something we don't talk about very often. There's a lot of infrastructure that goes into fueling and preparing the launch vehicle before. And
all right, so we're going to mute this. So the launch is scheduled for about 30 minutes here, 30 minutes. I'll include this link here if you guys want to check out the actual like page that I'm watching this on, so you can kind of catch the full thing. I'll put the link up so you can kind of watch it. What I will say is just go to spacex.com. Spacex.com is where you can catch it, but it is our duty to go over market activity, so that's what we're going to go over. We're going to watch to see what Tesla does here. Tesla pull it back to the volume weighted average price right now. We'll see if we get some movement in that regard there. We still got about 45 minutes or so until the market opens up, about 45 minutes. Yeah, I think it's going to be something. I think this is going to be something where if this launch fails, we might get some negative reactions in Tesla. Potentially. We don't know for sure, but if this launch does not go smoothly, we might get some negative reactions in Tesla here. If the launch does go smoothly, of course, maybe we'll have some positive sympathy from this report. And again, we really don't know. We're purely just speculating on all this stuff here, so we really don't know. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. But 30 minutes for this launch. The market is actually turning down here. So I'm looking up some of the recent news that came out. The market is actually starting to turn and head down here. Again, the New York State Manufacturing Index came in much more positive than I think a lot of people expected here. Again, they came in at 10.8 versus minus 18 expectations. So basically, they thought that there was going to be much worse manufacturing conditions than there were. And again, this is nuanced. So it could be seen as good and bad, to be honest here. Some people are going to see it as worse because of inflation problems with higher manufacturing output activity and sentiment. Others are going to see it as better because, it means economical growth, of course, with manufacturing growth. But yeah, it came in much higher than expected there, much higher than expected. So yeah, we are bouncing back a little bit. You can see the previous closing price on the SPY here, right around where we are now. Let me see if I can put up a different screen here like that. There, that's much better. But yeah, you can kind of see the SPY, which is right underneath me right here. This is the SPY. You can kind of see it moving down to that light blue level, testing the previous closing price. And again, we'll see if it actually holds. Yeah, for sure, Corey. We'll see how they interpret it. We really don't know. Couldn't be interpreted as good, bad, positive, negative, good, weak, anything. And so it's just something that we're going to have to wait and see what the launch looks like. More manufacturing means more supply, so less inflation. It's also good for recession fears. I could be wrong. What's not going to be good for both, because they both have negative correlations with each other. So like the higher economical output, the more inflation fears we have, and the lower the economical output, the less.
1,000 hexagonal ceramic tiles designed to insulate the vehicle during atmospheric entry, where temperatures can be as high as 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit. The hex-shaped tiles, like these ones that we have here, roughly make up about 2/3 of the vehicle. There's a couple of different geometries. The one that I have is for the circular portions of the vehicle, so it has this curvature to it. And the one that Schw has.
Yeah, this kind is a hexagonal shape, and there's several thousand of these all across the body of the vehicle. And it's worth saying we need these because when a spacecraft re-enters from orbital velocity, it's going faster than the speed of sound and causes a lot of heat to build up.
They got some good cameras.
That has to get dissipated by these heat shield tiles.
Yeah, thing that's really cool about these is they're super lightweight. Even just holding them, we're able to even just like hear how hollow they are because of the construction.
Tesla
but
moving
they
up.
do a great job of dispersing that heat during that atmospheric reentry. We actually produce these in-house at what we like to call the SpaceX bakeries. They're located in Texas and Florida. So it's something that we designed and build in-house. And like we said, there's thousands of them. You can kind of see them on the exterior of the vehicle. So at this point in time, we are at T-minus 27 minutes and 18 seconds. So let's head on over to John Innsbrucker for an update on the countdown. Hey, John.
All right, let's see what the countdown is looking like.
Thanks, Kate, and good morning. I'm John Innsbrucker, Principal Integration Engineer here at SpaceX. We're currently loading propellant from the ground system into both the first and second stages. Now, both vehicles use the same two propellants. Our fuel is liquid methane at a temperature of just over 100 kelvins, or about minus 272 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, this is a different fuel from Falcon 9, where we use RP1 kerosene. And our oxidizer is liquid oxygen, the same as Falcon 9. But because there's no oxygen in space to support combustion, we have to bring our own. Now, a little bit of a recap. We did the go, no go poll at T-minus 1 hour and 45 minutes. And once the team gave their goes, we polled about 20 folks. We started loading propellants onto the booster at T-minus 1 hour and 39 minutes.
Maybe, Mike.
And at T-minus 1 hour and 22 minutes, we began propellant loading of the ship, the second stage on Starship.
So this is going to happen.
Now, LOX loading of the second stage main tank is almost complete right now, but we'll actually stretch it out and wrap it up and finish at T-minus 5 minutes.
So
and then at T-minus 3 minutes, as the booster finishes loading, the vehicle will be fully loaded with just over 10 million pounds propellant. Now, currently in the countdown, we've just passed the T-minus 26 minute mark. The good news is weather's looking good. You can see the blue skies there on the camera views from the drone. The only thing we're watching is winds. They are within limits at ground level. We expect they may pick up a little bit as we get farther into the window should we need to go that far. But the good news right now is that the weather is looking good. The range also is looking pretty good. We've moved almost all the boats out of the keep out zone overnight. We are working one, but we're still underway. And right now, as a reminder, if for any reason we do not make our test flight today, we have backup launch windows. This could be either 24 or 48 hours after today, and it'll depend on how far we get into the countdown. Coming up on 25 minutes to go, everything is looking good, Kate.
All right, so 25 minutes until this launch. And again, I think we might see some correlation between this with Tesla. Tesla consolidating right now. 25 minutes. The launch is going to happen right around the opening bell. So the launch is going to happen right around the opening bell. Pretty close to it, at least. I mean, it's going to happen maybe 10 minutes before the open. So you can kind of see what they're planning to do with it here. Let's see if they're breaking it down.
Now, imagine if you had to wait for a new airplane to be constructed every time you wanted to fly. You'd rarely go anywhere, and it would probably be completely unaffordable for most of us. In order for us to get to Mars and back with lots of people multiple times, reusability is a must.
Yeah.
Now, in the near term and a bit closer to home here on Earth, Starship will be critical to other programs as well. Once it's operational, Starship will deliver the full-size and upgraded version of our Starlink satellites. And that's super exciting because our next generation satellites represent a step forward in Starlink's capabilities and will provide more bandwidth and increased reliability
started on ship
to connect millions of people around the world with high-speed internet.
And
Putting the internet on Mars, huh? But hey, hopefully they do well, man. We'll see. Somehow your stream is ahead of my live stream. Listen, I mean, that's just because we're good like that, you know. Look at this man.
Jared served as a commander for Inspiration 4, the first all-civilian mission to orbit. Inspiration 4 launched aboard our Dragon spacecraft and Falcon 9 in September 2021, raising over $240 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
All right, look at Schwab breaking down here. So Schwab just fell all the way back down under the previous closing price. Yes, Saj. Listen, man, I'm not saying I don't appreciate you, bro. But you're 50-50 in my mind, man. And so it's not like I guess like one thing that you have to understand is that anybody that tries to say they told me so or tries to pressure me, honestly, you're coming across as some people that I've banned here prior to that. Number one, Saj. Number two is that you called the market the wrong way the day before. And so it's not like when you call the market wrong, we just don't really hear about it. Like you just don't really talk about it. But then when you call the market right, you comment and say, see, I told you so. I told you so. You should have listened. And it's like, well, yeah, but if I would have listened to both of your picks, then we'd be flat right now because the first one was wildly wrong. And then the second one was right. But again, anybody can do what you just did, man. And it's not really something that I think is necessarily good to kind of come back and say, see, I told you so about the market. Again, in the end, it's just not helpful. It's not helpful for traders. It just ends up causing too much pressure and confusion versus like letting traders do what they want to do, you know. Manufacturing numbers went better than expected. Is bullish for the dollar. Yeah, but the dollar has an inverse correlation with the market golden days. And so it's a little bit bullish for the dollar doesn't necessarily mean good for the market activity, I think is the point. So like bullish for the dollar doesn't necessarily mean good. I could be the top 3 people to trade in space ever in the world right now, triple, you know. But yeah, Saj, the thing to understand about this channel, and again, like I said, I'm getting the vibes that you've been here before, is the more you say I told you so or pressure people to do things, the larger the probability that you're just going to get banned, you know. Again, what you get people that happen a lot do here, like what people do a lot sometimes is they'll give out like 5 different picks, right? And when they're wrong, again, crickets, silence. You never hear from them. But when they're right, you just never hear the end of it. They're acting like they are just the greatest guru, the greatest trader ever, the most skilled trader ever. And again, that just kind of goes against my philosophy of this channel. Like what I try to do here at this channel is just put out a free resource and community. I don't want traders to get pressured to do anything. Because again, frankly, the internet is filled with too much nonsense and too many people that really need validation. And so they'll just kind of lie. They'll ignore their wrong calls and bring attention to their right calls and all that stuff. So it's just not necessarily good for traders. If the rocket crashes, Tesla will dump. I don't know. Maybe. Steve. Yeah, it's all good, man.
And landing flip maneuver. Yes, I'm talking about the belly flop. This 12.5 kilometer hop test took place December 2020 and saw the SN8 prototype ascend to an altitude of 12.5 kilometers and conduct a belly flop maneuver. While it didn't stick the landing, the test was a major milestone in the development of Starship.
I love seeing the belly flop maneuver. Now, testing continued with the prototype on serial.
All right, so look, guys, so we do have, look at Schwab dump here. So Schwab just got a big volume move downward. So Schwab falling down some here. Look at this move down. So Schwab is dropping. Let's see if we can figure out the news on why this is going on here. So bank earnings in focus as U.S. equities futures trade water. Schwab stock gains after earnings beat expectations while revenue was a bit shy. See, this is a little bit late. I don't know why Schwab is dropping. Is this just general banking weakness? FRC is down. What about like JP Morgan? All right, 19 minutes before the flight, guys. 19 minutes. JP Morgan's pretty flat today. We do have Bank of America earnings tomorrow, I believe. So Bank of America, Wells Fargo, which is WFC. I'm just don't know why Schwab is dropping with such a big red candle. And yeah, there it goes. It basically rebounded. I think $50 is a really interesting spot for it. $50. Very interesting spot.
A number of maneuvers and safely returned to the launch site. This was the first Starship prototype to fly, control its descent, safely land, and to be recovered in one piece.
Now, having achieved that success in our suborbital campaign, one of the next big challenges for upper stage reusability is to survive the high heating hypersonic phase of entry. Combined with the ability to refill our Starship's tank with fuel and oxygen while on orbit is what will enable a fully reusable transportation system that's designed to carry both crew and cargo on these long-duration interplanetary flights. And that's ultimately what will help humanity return to the moon and travel to Mars and beyond in our solar system.
So as you can tell, it is nothing but an iterative process to get to the point that we are today and where we will go from here. That iteration is a core process of how we work here at.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right move, Saj. Again, you have to understand my channel, man, which is just like pressure, telling people, giving out stock picks is not the right thing here. It's not what we respect here. It's not what we like. It's not something that we're going to enjoy. It's something that I'm going to criticize anytime I see it. Because again, too many people want to pretend they're experts in their mind. And I'm not saying this is you, but what I'm saying is like too many people come here. Like I said, I've had workers that have worked for me that when they join my community, they're like, "Oh, John, I just started trading 6 months ago. Thank you so much. Like you've helped me so much." And then like I'll let them be like a mod in my Discord. I let them kind of be like a mod, but they were active in my Discord. And within a couple months, they were saying, "Hey guys, I've been trading for 30 years and I'm just an expert and know everything." And it's just kind of like, no, you haven't. Like you were trading 6 months ago. Now you're trading for 30 years. It's like on the internet, people want validation. And so stock picks are toxic and predatory a lot of the time. So what we do here is we're just a community of traders. Pressuring people to do stuff is just not the right move, man. Ended Friday up 0.32%. Tobias, hey, what's up, man? Schwab paused the buyback. Yeah, but they announced that like a while back. So they announced that, an hour ago. So if they are dropping from that, it's kind of a delayed reaction, I think here. All right, and you can see Schwab starting to pop back up a little bit here. I want to put both of these up, both Schwab and Tesla here, and then put the E-mini up. But again, we got about 15 minutes before the SpaceX launch here, guys. There's Schwab down there. There's Tesla down there. We're going to put up the E-mini here now and get ready to trade some futures. We've got a nice little run. Let me make sure we're logged in. There we go. So here is the E-mini futures contract. 14 minutes. There we go. There we go. That works good. Let me know if that works well with regards to view. Meta has earnings. I don't believe it's this week. I think it's next week. So I think Meta has earnings next week. All right, guys. So again, you can see the market dropping a little bit more. Tesla dipping down to 186.60. Schwab still consolidating right at 50 bucks. Yeah, that's what they said. They got a Schwab pulse buyback. SpaceX landing with something out of film. Yeah. Absolutely got to provide your research if you want, but there are experts always tend to get aggressive if you're on the other side. Yeah, I mean, I think people, like I said, I think people want validation on the internet. And so I think maybe like what's probably going to happen sometimes is you're going to have people who I ban because they're too like loud. They're too loud. They're too pressuring. They're too full of nonsense or whatever. They get banned. And so I think some of them are going to create other accounts and they might pretend to be people who work at big hedge funds and do all this other stuff because hoping that that'll give more credibility to their picks and hoping that I'll pay more attention to it. That's what seems like a pretty likely situation. Again, I'm not saying that's anybody here, but like, you know, you got some weirdos, man, that are just kind of again, they get their feelings hurt if I ban them or whatever it is. And overall, like the philosophy of the channel is just having a free place, a free community where we can just kind of get together, not get pressured, not have somebody selling us a course or service, and just be free. Tesla earnings. Yeah, Tesla earnings are expected to show up at let's see what they're expected. So they're coming out Wednesday. They're expected to come in at 85-cent EPS on about 23.37 billion in sales rev. What were their last earnings? Let me check Tesla's last earnings to see what they showed up as prior to this. I'm trying to look at their PE ratio. So Tesla PE is about 51 right now, still conventionally high. Conventionally high. If we look at their financials or their calendar, I guess is what we should look at. Yeah, Tesla earnings came out last time at 119, the time before that at 105, the time before that at 76, the time before that at 107. So the last year, they're at about 1.24 plus, so that's 2. They're at about 307 over the last year. So I'm trying to get their trailing PE, 307, $3.07. And if we divide that by 186.58 to try to get their PE ratio, it gives them a PE ratio, a trailing PE ratio for Tesla right now of about 60.7, 60.78 if you round up. So 60.78, to put it into perspective, PE is price over earnings ratio. The reason it's relevant, we got about 10 minutes before the Tesla launch as well, guys. The reason it's relevant is because it tells you like how cheap a stock is, like in terms of like extension, how cheap it is. It's not a perfect metric or you know, analyzation, you know, metric, but it's useful. Still, what's considered a good PE ratio is like under 30, you know, so 2 times the good PE ratio level is not quite the best price over earnings for Tesla. But I think Tesla is one of those stocks that are a little bit more immune to stuff like PE ratio because I think they're kind of growth stocks that are relatively new and growing still. You know what I mean? How would USA entering I don't know. Um, what's up, Santiago? Any data today? Nothing really major RSL. Corey says, I don't think anyone working for a big hedge fund or anything like that is going to be religiously watching or commenting a beginner trading stream. 100%, man. And that's the thing to understand. And again, I'm not trying to target anybody, but like, again, people want to be seen. They want their stock picks known. And again, sometimes they do stuff like that to try to get heard or seen. Toughest thing in trading is sitting on your hands, trying not to force trades. Yeah, for sure. Again, a famous quote said, money is not made in trading. Money is made in waiting for trades. Very true. Yeah, Buffett uses PE. Yeah, it's a investing metric for sure. But it also is just, it shows you whether stuff is cheap relative to their price.
Love you.
Love you, buddy. Have a good day at school, man. Love you, bud.
Love you.
All right, so let's see what they're saying now.
Also continue loading propellant onto the first stage, wrapping up at T-minus 3 minutes. We're also going to go through pressurization steps, other steps of the countdown. This will be a full validation for the team, but currently the plan right now is we're waiting for final word, is that I think at T-minus 10 seconds, we will finally stop the clock and then recycle the countdown for today. Now we're inside T-minus 8 minutes and counting. We're continuing to load propellant on both the first and second stage. You can see the Starship second stage with the heat shield tiles there. Carriage arms are open. You can see the condensation around the first stage tank as we load liquid methane, liquid oxygen into the large super heavy first stage.
All right, Tsla dipping down on this here. So Tsla at 186.20s here, 186.20s. Charles Schwab also dipping down some, under $50 here, trying to hold. And again, time will tell. For sure, the waiting game teaching me a lot about life. Hey, it's about everything, man. Yeah, for sure. A pressurant valve appears to be frozen, so unless it starts operating soon, no launch today. Oh, man.
You can see the condensation frost on the side of the first stage. We'll have just over 10 million pounds of liquid propellant on board. Inside T-minus 7 minutes, we're continuing to count.
All right, guys, so
Team
the
is
launch may
preparing
not
for
happen.
the hold and scrub at T-minus 10 seconds.
That's probably why Tesla's
been
dipping.
going good. We're just working that one issue. So we are continuing to count. Team will get this as an excellent opportunity to run the end-to-end of the system. Now in a launch, in the next few minutes, the guidance system would be performing its final alignment. We will be doing that this morning. The automated flight termination system would be armed. We won't need to arm it today as we won't be flying. And we'll do final thrust vector control checkouts, what we call wiggles of the Raptor engines on the first and second stages. Now, normally
so this
in
is what
a
Elon
countdown,
said.
if we needed to hold, there's a view of the second stage Raptor engines just above the first stage. Now, as I mentioned, in a regular countdown, if we needed to hold, that would come at T-minus 40 seconds. That's the point in the countdown where we can pause to wait for final checkouts or pressurization to complete. Now, earlier this morning, we thought we might have to hold at 40 seconds. Everything's looking good, except for the one pressurization issue that the team is going to have to troubleshoot after this morning. So we won't stop at 40 seconds right now. We'll continue all the way down to 10 seconds, and then we'll go into a recycle.
All right, basically, yeah, so if you look at what Elon Musk just posted right now, it's looking like this is not going to happen today, I'm guessing. So 3 minutes ago, Elon posted saying a pressurant, you can read the comment below me here. He said a pressurant valve appears to be frozen. So unless it starts operating soon, no launch today. So a pressurant valve appears to be frozen. So unless it starts soon, no launch today. They said they're going to keep on. I think they've paused. Let's see.
And of course, we wanted to see fire today and lift off. But that's okay. The point of the countdown is to allow the teams to progress to that T0 time in a coordinated fashion and really to unveil any issues prior to the ignition sequence.
So it looks like the launch isn't going
through. The countdown did its job today. It allowed us to identify that press issue. And
all right. So, yeah, it looks like the count's not going through. I'm going to put this off screen. And if it, for whatever reason, starts again, it looks like it looks like it's off. We'll let this sit here and see what they do. But it looks like for right now that the test flight launch is off. And you can kind of see Tesla reacting a little bit to this, to what many are going to call bad news here. Tesla down to 186.20s, dropping down. Schwab still breaking down. The E-mini is mostly consolidating here sideways. So there's the breakdown there. Starting to move down. And let's Let's see what they're saying.
Talent load. So we're learning things today about the integrated tasks that are going to set us up for success in a future attempt later on, hopefully in the next 48 hours or so.
Okay, so yeah, from what it looks like now, the launch is off, unfortunately. So the launch is off. It looks like it happens. Nothing ever going to go super smooth, but a little bit of a buzzkill there, unfortunately. So we're looking at some other stuff too. Tesla is reacting pretty negatively to this. I mean, Tesla's not really loving life right now, of course, with the canceled launch today. Look at Tesla start to dip pretty fast here. So Tesla coming all the way back down to under 186 now. So Tesla not loving the fact that the launch was canceled. Schwab has been breaking down as well. We're going to put the music back up here. Get ready to trade.
That data.
I think the launch will happen in the next couple of days, so maybe there's an argument for a Tesla dip buy. I don't know. Still breaking down here. Tesla's starting to bounce back a little bit. All right, guys, we got about 10 minutes. Market's been pretty sideways here for the last hour, honestly. So hopefully we get some volume at the opening bell. Again, it's a busy week this week with regards to earnings. We got stocks dropping earnings. Yeah, hit that like button, bump those like numbers up. Also, guys, like I said, check out Top Step. Top Step's got a 25% off sale going on right now. And Top Step is the easiest, lowest barrier of entry way to trade. So it's the lowest barrier of entry way to trade. So you can day trade futures with no PDT rule. You can day trade. This is essentially the S&P 500. So what y'all see here is basically the S&P 500. And you can day trade this in futures with no PDT restrictions. You don't need 25K to trade it. The lowest barrier of entry to day trade is the futures market in Top Step. Top Step is a funded account program where they give you a demo and they test your skill. And just taking the challenge, build your trading skill. If you lose, it's only 120 something, I think, maybe 130 bucks right now if you use my link. I think it's like 124 bucks if you use my link right now. So the cheapest you'll find it. And again, if you lose, it's not the end of the world. You're down 120 bucks. You can reset it for like 100 or even less right now, maybe. But if you pass it, you still get a lot of the benefits. I call it the best of both worlds because if you pass it, you still keep basically 90% of your profit once you're funded. And so if you get funded, and Top Step is the most legit way to do it, they pay out millions every year in actual withdrawals from their funded traders. So funded traders are withdrawing millions from them a year. You get a 90% split. So you make 10K once you're funded, you keep 9 of that. But if you lose, it's not the end of the world, and it's much less than you would if you put up the money yourself most of the time. And so again, if you want to check it out, great way to help support the channel. Great way to get your feet wet and get your foot in the door with day trading if you don't have that much equity. And again, they are a sponsor of mine. They are a sponsor of mine, and so I'm certainly biased in their favor. And so I'm always trying to be honest and transparent about that. But you can check out the link in the description right there if you want 25% off. John is my name, 70. Yeah, 185. Yeah, Tesla down to 186s, under 186s now. So we'll see if it actually holds that spot now. Yeah, so the Starship launch got scrubbed, unfortunately. Canceled, scrubbed, whatever you want to call it. All right, guys, we got the opening bell pretty soon. Honestly, this should be a fun week, man. It really should. Mars isn't going anywhere. Yeah, it'll be all right. Tesla's not really reacting the best to it. You can kind of see Tesla starting to break under 186s now, but again, it'll happen in the next couple days regardless, you know, so like it'll be all right. What's up, Jason? All right, guys. All right, guys. So we're starting to break down a little bit here. All right, guys. Market open about 3 minutes here. 3 minutes, guys. Yeah, good luck, Sash. Good luck, bro. Love you.
Love you.
Have a good day. All right, Amazon at 103s here, guys. 103s for Amazon. Bounce it up a little bit on the market. You can see Tesla popping back up here. Maybe they rescheduled their flight, is what I'm assuming. Yeah, SpaceX launch ended. Amazon popping up a little bit. We'll see if the market as a whole rebounds. Tesla moving up a little bit. Schwab still under 50s. Starting to pop up a little bit. You get about a minute left, guys. Minute left at the open. We'll see if we get anything good. I'm ready for it. Long call on Netflix. I think it's ahead of earnings, so it's not really something that I tend to like to it's not something I necessarily like to I don't like betting on things ahead of earnings, because I think earnings can do anything. Earnings can make stocks go up, down, sideways. Nobody really knows what the results are going to be. So it's something that I stray away from as much as I can in terms of like making big picks ahead of earnings. All right, here's the opening bell. 10 seconds. All right, so there's the open. Let's see how the market moves here. We're going to zoom in a little bit. Somebody accused me of not using any technicals. What they got to understand is that I have 4 monitors. Like, I'm not using just this monitor to trade, man. So, like, acting like I'm just not using anything is silly. And again, it's very kind of short-sighted, I think. Yeah, just be safe, guys. Market is sideways. Market's ripping up a little bit. Tesla all the way back up to 187. Yeah, that's why you guys could see it, but I'm using the VWAP. I'm using some other stuff too. All right, market's starting to break down here. We might short it if we get like a firm breakdown, but it's going to be small. There's a big rip. A lot of up wicks and down wicks, so a lot of choppiness. So just be careful, guys. A lot of chop. All right, look at Tesla dump here. That might drag the market down. Let me see if I can short this. I'm going to short one contract here, see if we get a breakdown. Just because Tesla had a pretty fast breakdown here. I'm not going to hold this for a long time, though. All right, we'll cut that. Lost about $50 there. I saw Tesla starting to break down, and I thought we might get a follow through in the market, but just nothing yet. Like, we just didn't actually catch any breakdown yet. Tesla ended up rebounding and retracing most of that breakdown, so probably a little bit too early for me to trade. So we'll just chill now and look for some other type of big momentum turn before we get involved with anything else. Again, I'm trying to get used to trading the large E-mini. So yeah, Johnson & Johnson earnings. We got a bunch of earnings coming out. Wells Fargo's ripping up today. All right, there's the high breaks happening. See what Tesla does. I'm also looking at, of course, Apple, Disney, Google. Google bouncing back some. Honestly, I was thinking about buying the Google dip, and it looks like I should have, honestly. Because Google bounced all the way back from 105s to 106.30s. Under 105s, really. Google was down at 104, basically, and now it's up to 106.40. So Google has bounced back a lot. Google kind of dragging the market up. A very choppy opening range so far here, team. Very choppy opening range so far. Tesla earnings are on Wednesday. So Tesla earnings come out Wednesday. All right. Got my little Spider-Man, Superman curl right here. There we go. All right, start to test the top of the range. We'll see if Tesla does anything. Google kind of helping this run, though, guys. Look at Google run here. We're at the top of the range. Look at Tesla reverse back down here, though. Still getting some nice green action pumping up right now. Look at the green action here. So we'll look to long if we can break over this top and buy a pullback or so. Yeah, Tesla sideways, not breaking down too much. Look at this huge rip up here. Tesla's starting to creep back up over the volume weighted average price. All right, Tesla testing the top of that range. Again, we kind of need a dip if I'm going to buy anything. Google pulling back some. Look at Tesla rip up here. So Schwab's still struggling, but again, we'll see if we buy like a little pullback, but we need a larger one, honestly, here. This ain't a huge dip. This is a little baby dip. Nothing yet. Again, we need a larger dip than this if we're gonna. Let me get my Superman curl out of there. It looks ridiculous. But no, not a large dip yet. We need at least a couple red candles here. Tesla popping up big here. Look at Tesla. Still not quite there yet. All right, so here's somewhat of a pullback here. I kind of like this dip. It's not quite enough, and a lot of the time these fake you out. So let's take one contract here. All right, Tesla's still testing the top of that range. All right, so we're about flat on this trade now. I want to give it some time to really pop up over these levels, but it's certainly not a good level here. There we go. Slightly green. So we just cut it. We made about $40 there. Pretty flat on the day now. And we got an opportunity to catch a little bit more, but we caught the bounce that we wanted in this trade here. So that's not bad. We'll see if it continues up. I don't know if it's going to continue up breaking this high. Tesla broke those highs that it was testing previously. So that's good. But not dippy enough. Yeah, it's definitely the dippiest ever. Definitely top 3 dippiest dips in the world right now. Yeah, Tesla just tapped over highs and then pulled back here. I might buy this little pullback right now. All right, so we got one contract here. This is a momentum play, but so we get that little kind of rebound here. There we go. All right, pretty flat on this trade. I bought the dip. Let's see if it breaks highs. There we go. Nice. All right, so we just made about 50, I believe, or just now, about $50. Completely flat on the day now. So Only made about 40 bucks, it looks like. It looks like it was the right move to cut it right there, though. Wells Fargo rebounding some, too. Do you think Rivian or PSNY, Polestar, will get the most sympathy from Tesla? I don't know. I think Rivian's the bigger name, but Polestar's the more established. So I really don't know. I think at least Polestar is post-production, where they're actually shipping cars. I've seen a couple Polestars in my area, but I really don't know. Yeah. The commissions are just what eats you with micros, Pawn. That's the big thing, is those commissions. I don't mind this little retracement here. This kind of looks strong. All right, guys, so we're just letting it consolidate here. I don't mind this little dip if it pops back up, but just a lot of consolidation after the open today. So we got into a little micro trade just now. We just cut it basically, just because we saw the retracement happen. So we're green on the day now, up about 30 bucks. You kind of see my P&L right here. Choppiness though. Schwab bouncing back a little bit though. So Schwab's starting to fight back some from those drops earlier in pre-market. It's back up over 50. I like this little retracement back up here, though. I'm going to take one contract here of the regular E-mini since I have a little bit of a cushion now, but we started to break down too much. I'm just going to cut it. Very close to cutting this. I don't like this the way it looks, unless it rebounds pretty fast back up there, which it kind of did. I'm too worried about a breakdown under this candle here, but it basically bounced back, but kind of going back and forth today. Yeah, I'm going to get out. See, this is what I was worried about, was a breakdown there. And again, we're still pretty flat on the day, even trading a mix of like micros and regulars. I just think the market could be about to break down now. Google bouncing back a little bit here. We'll see what Tesla does. But just a very choppy day here, guys. I mean, if we zoom out, market's just in a neutral range. We've had 2 or 3 green days in a row trading the regular. I'm going to look to short and pivot to short. I think this is looking weak. I did buy a little bit of a Google position just now. I'm gonna go ahead and short this and then anticipate the market flushing down here, and try to give it a longer term trade. Let it work a little bit for me here if we can. The bad news is I can't really take profit if it goes in my favor, but I think if I let it turn into a longer term trade, I'll get a little bit more reward from it, if that makes sense. Yeah, this bounces back. The good news is, like I said, I did take a few Google positions and shares here, so I might be able to scale out of some if this continues to bounce back, and maybe this will retrace. But yeah, with Tesla, so we'll cut that. And again, I'm just gonna wait. We're just getting chopped in and out, in and out. Like I said, I did get some Google trade, and I'm gonna start covering this position now. So we're gonna cut a majority of that position because we bought the Google dip. Right now, our average is about 105.50s, and we're at 106.20s right now on Google. So yeah, that's probably the good move. We might pivot over to the regular E-mini here too, and trade this since we're kind of hitting our risk level. And again, we've had multiple green days in a row now, so if we have a losing day, it's not the end of the world. Watching Tesla to see if Tesla can get that rip up. We're just so sideways at this point in time in the market. I think I'm going to let my Google trade work a little bit longer. I mean, we're already green. We already took profit from this. So I could be a little bit better in terms of patience. Yeah, State Street dropped heavily here. But I mean, that's not... There's going to be more skepticism for stuff like this because it's a little bank. So there are going to be more risks in terms of like holding this versus one of the big boys, All right, so I'll probably take a little bit more off of my Google trade just because I can. All right, so we just cut a little bit more off of that Google trade just because we can. Market's starting to rebound back here. Very choppy open, though. We're not going to get too excited here. Oh, nice. Google ripping up huge. I think I'm just going to sit on the rest of my Google trade here, though. Neutral range here. We're right in the center of this price action. Here's the center. How you guys doing today? Green or red? Again, I'm pretty I'm down a little bit, but I kind of stopped myself from trading too actively once this chop showed up. I don't really want to take super heavy, like polarized positions on either side because there's just not really any true edge right now. Maybe we move up, maybe we move down, but short term we're pretty flat and neutral in terms of direction. Google finally pulling back a little bit, but I covered most of the position here. We had about 80 shares of Google. We sold it. We only got 20 left now. So we ended up cutting most of that on the very green. We were very green on that trade. Ended up selling most of it. Again, sitting here watching the E-mini and stuff now. But very choppy open. We'll see if we get some better trends afterwards. Watching State Street as well. Such a neutral market here, though, guys. Y'all be careful. I do better with my swing trades, Saj. I mean, we day trade, but my swing trades are just much. I'm green on the year swing trading, mostly like buying dips and extended on the downside blue chips. Regardless of the chat, unless the chat's like telling me to sell now or buy now, it doesn't really matter either way. Sometimes I'll just tune it out, and sometimes I won't. It just depends on what's going on. All right, Google bouncing back up, which is nice. Again, market's super sideways still. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. Yeah, the Tesla or the SpaceX flight was scrubbed, so they'll probably reschedule for the next couple days. That'll probably influence Tesla back up or down or however it goes, but Schwab's still pushing up. Again, we're kind of hands off right now. Why Bitcoin dumping? I don't know why Bitcoin's dumping. Bitcoin's up a lot over the last month or so though. So I mean, it's not like a super big surprise if Bitcoin falls down a little bit and doesn't hold all the gains it makes. It's not reasonable to expect necessarily for it to hold everything just because it's up a lot. Down to 29.5. As long as it can stay over like 25K, I think that's great. It's not going to go just straight up, you know. Tesla's starting to pop up here. Yeah, Tesla ripping up. See what the rest of the market does. Let's see Tesla. What's Apple doing? Apple down big today. So interesting. What about Microsoft? Whoa, sorry. What about Microsoft? Microsoft breaking down. Whoa, huge drop in markets. Let's see if there's a reason why. Hedge fund bet. It's big on US dollar. Let me see. U.S. Supreme Exxon unit declares force majeure on oil liftings. Bank of England sells 770 million 7 to 10-year gilt bonds. Market flushing back down. Yeah, I don't know where that drop came from. I'm trying to figure out why it dropped. I really don't know. I don't know why it fell like that, to be honest. So I have been trading the regular E-mini a little bit today. Again, I think with the $9,000 target here, I have to start trading larger than I have been. That's been my biggest thing. Like to understand how I am as a trader, I trade about 140, 150, 160,000 in buying power on TOS, right? So the transition over to futures, it's not something that I necessarily need to get funded. And so like you might have other YouTubers that are like, yeah, I got funded. Look at me. But like, again, the reality of it is I'm mostly a stock trader. Like we're sponsored by Top Step because I think like if you don't have as much equity as I do, futures are very valuable and can be very, very useful. But getting funded is not necessarily something that I need to do. Again, I already have, 6 figures in buying power to trade with on a regular basis. Again, we're still in Disney. And so if I'm trying to get funded on these programs, then I need to scale up my size because what I'm used to doing is trading small on my real account because I trade a real account. And so I'm used to trading small there. And so I think when I try to get funded on Top Step, I'm just used to trading too small. So it ends up taking me a long time. But I've started to trade the regular E-mini. Again, we were in on that short just now. And we ended up making about $1,000 from it. So we are up about 900 on the day right now. Win-loss ratio is still about 3 to 1. Maximum drawdown in the day is only 250 with about 900 in gains. So we ended up taking profit quickly on the drop. And now the market's rebounding back up, which again, I still can't understand why we're getting this sudden influx of volatility. So China warns of, quote, major military action within the Yellow Sea on Tuesday. Yeah, maybe a big whale on Tesla. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, big pop up here. This actually looks kind of strong. And we'll see if we get a pop back up here. But this looks strong. So it looks like we're very choppy range right now, though. So we are in very neutral range. We might buy this little dip here. Maybe, I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, I don't know. Very choppy market. Yeah, markets is pretty flat right now, guys. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, they are a funded account program. We are up about a little bit under $1,000 on Top Step today. And again, what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. And not everybody's going to be able to pass it, but regardless of whether you pass it, it builds you into a better trader. And so they give you a demo. The base one's $50K. Right now, there's a very rare 25% off sale where you can get it for like 120 something bucks. And so if you lose, it's not the end of the world. It's only 120 something bucks. But if you can pass their testing, they give you a demo, they test your skill, they give you a profit target, a max loss, all that stuff, different phases. If you could pass their testing, they fund you the same amount. So if you could pass the 50K combine, you get funded 50 grand with a 90% split. So you get a lot of the benefits without a lot of the risk. The risk is small, 120 something if you use my link, but the rewards are very large if you can get funded, a 50K funded account with a 90% split. And there's no PDT in futures, which is why a lot of traders gravitate towards it, because again, you can day trade short margin accounts, no PDT restrictions in futures. And so again, if you want to check them out, great way to help support the channel. There's the link. Very sideways market right now. Not something that I'm necessarily interested in continuing to trade. So yeah, we're probably going to go ahead and close it down for the day. I just don't see any real edge in pushing today. We're green a very decent amount here so far, but it's just kind of a choppy day at this point in time. Just a choppy day. So yeah, I'll post the link right there if you want to check out Top Step. If you want to check out our other sponsor, which is a company called Chart Prime, they are a trading view indicator service, and I honestly really do use this for my trading a ton. So I use this with my trading very often. And again, what they do is they're a trading view indicator service. So you can use them in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. And so you can use them with basically any kind of trading security, stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. And again, they're just incredibly useful and powerful here. So if you want to look at this, I'll put them up. They are, you can use them in stocks. I like using them with the SPY itself, right? So here it is right here. So here's the SPY. So if we're going to add one, the Market Oracle is really kind of the one-stop shop for signals here. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. They are a sponsor of mine, and so I'm certainly biased in their favor. But like, look at how accurate this can be. Okay, I can't fake what I'm just showing you. I didn't even look at it today, but look at what showed up today. So like, just to break this down a little bit here, guys. So just to break it down some. I can't fake this, right? They give you reversal signals. Their oscillator is really, really solid, like a famous oscillator that a ton of traders use because, well, frankly, again, it can just be powerful. But again, look at this. Reversal down signal here drops over the next like 10 minutes. Bullish engulfing candle, bounce. Reversal down signal, you get drops over hours. Reversal down signal at the top of pre-market, drops, literally called the top. Look, reversal signal here, drops. Literally called those drops at the very top of this price action. Reversal up signal here at the very bottom, literally called the bottom of this price action. And the cool thing is that you can use this on any time frame. Look, possible reversal down, literally called the top again. And so this is on a day trading basis. So you can use it in day trading, and I do use it a ton. But like, just look at how accurate. Reversal down, drops. Reversal down, literally at the very top, drops. Reversal down at the very top, drops. Literally was 100% accurate today. Reversal down after the open, drops. Reversal up, bounce. Reversal down, drops. And so again, can be very powerful. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. They're a sponsor of mine, but the price that this costs is very cheap relative to what you get. Like, you can put an hourly chart up here. A lot of traders like using this on a longer term basis because again, they can be useful. Again, look at the very tops of this here price action. So again, I can't fake this at all, guys. This is an hourly chart. So every candlestick represents an hour. Number one, the first thing to notice is that their trend line, kind of like their own version of VWAP, is very powerful. Look at this bounce to it. It pulled down and bounced directly off of it. But look, each candlestick represents an hour. So it gave you the reversal signal here. And then over hours, you get drops. Same thing here, reversal down signal here, over hours, all the way down to the bottom of the day, you get drops. And so $35 a month for that is very, very cheap. You can get 40% off, which gives you the $35 price point for this. It's called Chart Prime, can be powerful. Again, on a day that's choppy like this, Chart Prime was basically 100% accurate this morning, it looks like. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. I'm biased in their favor because they're a sponsor. But again, if you look at like the choppy action today, Chart Prime has been kind of calling the tops of this chop. So like, look, top of this price action, reversal down signal, drops. Reversal up signal, bounce. Reversal down signal, drops. Reversal down signal, drops. So powerful. Reversal down signal, drops. So again, check it out. There's the link in chat. Y'all be good. Love you all. Y'all be safe. I'll be back tomorrow morning bright and early. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.